that never age. A creative designer on his Apple Mac takes you on an inner journey without a backpack. Fear cannot hold you, he boldly stated at a camp, as he demonstrated and jumped from a bungee ramp. Death, here I come, says he the wise, like the Surya with a steadfast gaze in his eyes. A director, scriptwriter and skydiver wearing ochre, always an opening batsman to face the Yorker. Passionate, adventurous, dashing and daring, courageous, compassionate and always caring. Ever inspiring are his motorbike fancies. We are proud to introduce our beloved Swami MITRANANDAJI.
That was part of modern psychology. In a way, it's important how you're being introduced. This method may work with the youth. Suppose you're a senior citizen, so talks on Upanishad, talks on Bhagavad Gita, Right. Thank you. Psychology of the new generation, rather the present generation. We'll try to understand what are the issues and what are the strategies we need to take to deal with the present youth. What they like, how they respond, which method we should adopt, that would be the discussion which we have now. Psychology of the new generation, strategies to handle youth. Okay. Youth psychology. The present generation, if you see. What happened? Youth psychology. Youngsters today, we should understand, they are fast learners. So this is one of the advantage. And it also can be a disadvantage because they learn things which is not required also very fast. So we must understand, we talk to a generation who is very quick in learning. They are fast learners. They are widely read, not well read, widely read. Because of the facilities like internet, communication systems today, people have access to all kinds of information. So widely read people, this generation if you see, they have widely read. On most of the issues they'll have their opinion. But widely read does not mean well read. Well read would be, you know the essentials which is required in life. So if you see today's generations, they are fast learners and they are widely read. And what do? Opinionated and quickly influenced by the media. This is one of the biggest influences the youth has. They are quickly influenced. If something goes on the media a couple of times and it keeps drilling into the mind, they start believing it and they start framing their opinions. Now this, in a way, is not good. Opinion is thrust. Sometimes the newspapers presents opinions to us more than facts, and youth are highly influenced by it. And one of the biggest hassles which we have with youth, which we need to understand to deal is, jumps into conclusion without deep analysis and understanding. Particularly when it comes to the subject like what we are dealing, culture, spirituality. They jump into conclusion even without analyzing deeply. Now this you have to keep in mind. We are talking to a group of youth of this generation who have been who has developed a kind of an opinion influenced by the media. They jump into quick conclusion and they are not ready to listen to us. How do you say that? For example, people may not have read the Gita or even minor books like, let us say, Bhaja Govindam, and suppose you're going to say this is going to help you in your life. Without analyzing, they have jumped into a conclusion saying, this is not required for me. This is very boring. It is a conclusion they have made already. Now this is one of the challenges we have in dealing with the youth. They have jumped into a conclusion already without even analyzing what it is. So the problem which we need to handle is this area where the youngsters have a very closed mind with a fixed notion and not ready to open up. So how do we approach this problem? This is the issue we have to see. Suggested strategies would be, as I told you, the youngsters of this generation is fast learners, so we must learn to be brief to them. Whatever we say, we must say it in a very small manner, in a short way. If we try to be elaborate to them, at that very beginning, they get closed and they don't want to listen to us. So we must develop an art of talking to the youth, being brief, minimum words. Be brief and do not be too insisting. This is one of the biggest issues of today's generation. They don't like if people keep insisting. So you must tell them, give them that space. Wait for it. If the space you have given, in that if they have not done it, maybe we have to talk to them again. Sometimes, out of anxiety, etc., people go on insisting, and this generation doesn't like that at all. Insisting. So we have to be brief and not to be too insisting. And what appeals to them is logical thinking. Be logical and objective. Take a fact-based approach. We need to be very logical to them. If it is not logical, if it is not rational, the youngsters of today will not understand. Suppose you say, take tulasi, swallow 2 leaves of tulasi for breakfast, for lunch and for dinner, which can give you a kind of a prevention from swine flu, let us say. That's not enough. You need to explain what are the qualities of tulasi. What is that quality in tulasi which can help you to prevent this? They need logical, rational answers. Just a statement will not be accepted. So we need to understand, this is good for you. No, you must be in a position to explain to them why this is good for you. So the approach should be logical and objective. Take fact-based approach. Another point which handling youth we need to understand is we need to be patient, because they jump into conclusions without analyzing. They jump into conclusions and very quickly they get opinionated, and then it becomes difficult. We need to be patient. I'll tell you one example. Almost 21 years ago, I was attending a camp like you as a Yuva Kendra member in Coimbatore. It was Gurudev's camp. On the last day or one day before that camp, on the penultimate day, we had a Vishnu Sahasranam Archana. And the text for the camp was Kathopanishad. Kathopanishad was the text which Gurudev was doing. I was in the Yuva Kendra at the time. And Vishnu Sahasranam Archana was happening after that, after the class. And we as volunteers were called to serve, offer flowers, pour oil if the lamp is and the oil is getting less on the lamp. This was our work. stupid was me. I was wearing a pant which had a pocket at your calf muscle. Below your knee, the pant had a pocket. I kept Kathopanishad, the book, there. Veda, Shruti, you understand? Upanishad, and how dear Upanishad is for Gurudev. What reverence he's got for it. And I'm keeping it in my feet. Putting it in my pant pocket, the pocket near the calf muscle. Walking around serving. Swamiji saw. And one stare, it was like, and I just walked. I said, what? It is utility, rational, quickly opinionated. So I was like, yeah, it's utility. I'm just using because there was a group discussion. I needed the book, and I'm keeping the book there. What's the big deal? It's not insulting. As if the leg is less divine. You see how the thinking is. You can't rationalize because that's the age. You can't. You think the leg is less divine or what? So what is wrong? And Swamiji stared. I understood he's staring for something. One stare, not a stare, it was a glare actually. But I still continued. And if he was to pick me up on that day and shout at me, probably I would be more closed. He did not do that. Instead, that time the Yuva Kendra leader was Parindra Kadakya. And poor Parindra came decently clad. A nice pant, a shirt, formals, buttoned, everything was nice. He was not wearing a kurta pajama, but a very decent pant and a shirt, full sleeve, buttoned, well clad. Gurudev took on him. He said, you are the leader of the youth and this is the way you dress for a holy occasion. Straight. Like I could hear it, Swamiji taking it on him. And poor Parindra is standing there. And he is kidding. Now this is where Gurudev, for all that strictness, he had patience in dealing with youth. Think about it. If he has to shout at me, my thinking, that's why I said being stupid, my thinking would be like, is my leg less divine? In what way? I keep the book here. What's wrong? I could get close. He waited for me, saying he could see that I am not matured enough. At this point of time, you need to grow a little more to understand reverence. That patience, what the master has, is important in dealing with youth. Because at that age, sometimes we are not available for reason. I remember this incident so well, Parindra being shouted, and after 2 years, I joined the Vedanta course. Gurudev saw me in Sandipani. White kurta, white dhoti, clean shaven with a tuft. He looks at me, then he says, where are those pants with pockets all around? Notice, you understand, it's, even on a dress the person noticed, but that's not the way to dress. The occasion is not the right way. But he had patience. Handling youth, we must understand they would be unreasonable and we need to have patience. If we have patience, we can wait and they will unfold. In the talks, when Guruji was talking on the first day, he said, Gurudev gave room for people to grow at their own pace. This line is important. People will grow on their own pace. So, we can't rush them, particularly with youth. Therefore, handling youth, this generation, we need to have patience more. Next. Be conscious of the choice of words. Handling youth, words are very, very important. The words can really inspire, and it can also put off people. Words are very powerful. So we must be very conscious of the words which we choose, the kind of vocabulary we use when we are with the youth. I'll give you just a few examples. Example, instead of words like self-control, discipline, the moment you use the word like self-control or discipline, This generation feels you're thrusting a restriction on them. It's just the word. The word doesn't mean restriction, but the assumption of the youngsters would be like self-control, discipline yourself. When we say something like that, the assumption with which the youngsters look would be, these guys are putting restrictions on me. So we must be very careful to use the right word. So words like self-mastery, which means nothing but self-control. But that word opens out a different way. They are more easy to deal with when we choose the right word. So when we deal with youngsters, let's pause, understand. Let us become clear. What are the words which has a wrong meaning? What are the words which can convey the meaning better, and how this generation reads those words? Because words have, the connotation is such that the meaning sometimes also changes. For example, some words which were negative have now become very positive words. Example, passion. Passion, 20 years ago, was a word which was used more negatively. Control your passions. Today we say, chase your passion. Passion, the word, how the word has changed so much. For today's generation, chase your passion is go and achieve your dreams. Go and get things, what you want to do. Passion or aggression. Aggression was a negative word some time back. Today it is like aggression. He plays very aggressively. It's a very complimentary quality. So words change. Sometimes which was negative, today it turns out to be positive word. Or it is used in a positive manner. Earlier, some words which were very positive, today people look at it negative. So we need to be very careful dealing with youth. How do we choose words? So this would be one of the topics I want you all to discuss. The right choice of words. To youngsters, what kind of vocabulary we need to use? What are the words? Some words which we use often, are they receiving it correctly? Okay. Moving on. Youth psychology. What are they doing? Today, youth are in a very competitive environment. Very competitive. Everything they get involved is very competitive. You score 95, that is not enough. You score 97, that is not enough. That's the level of competition. 98, not enough. So it has become a highly competitive environment. And to live in a competitive environment is stressful. So we must understand our youngsters are stressed out most of the time because they live in a very, very competitive environment. So we need to address this issue, that they live in a world which is highly competitive, and it is important, it is mandatory that they survive and they do well in this competitive environment. And to be in a competitive environment always, if you have not mastered yourself, would be very stressful. So this is one of the things we need to understand, that their environment is very competitive. Too much parental and societal pressure to pursue career goals. Too much pressure from the society, too much pressure from the parents. Like, don't waste your time on anything else. Use your time only for this. You have to make your career. Don't waste your time. Going and doing something, doing or helping, let us say. The parents would say, what are you going to gain by this? You're going to help somebody, what is your gain in it? So there is a kind of a tremendous pressure from the parents and also from the society, and these people are part of that pressure. So they are living in a competitive environment, too much of pressure also. Therefore, even if they know this is good, they are not willing to come because the pressure on them is so much. That's where we go. We inspire so much of youth. We inspire people. When we speak in colleges, when we speak in schools, when we have a youth camp, they are convinced on what we say. But too much pressure, they can't spare time. So if this is the case, how do we use it? What they are being pressurized, that should be the source through which we can inspire them into our fold. Their pressure point must be our source to inspire them. How do we do it? The next slide. Link spiritual values to career goals. Link spiritual values to career goals. We need to show. This is like Guruji keeps telling always, what is the need the youth has? What is the need? A good career is their need. Connect spirituality with it. Most of the youngsters, why do you want to study? To find a good career. Because you think once I have my career, most of the things are done. Career is a need, and we must connect their career goals, their career plan with spiritual values. How? You can be more effective if you are fearless. Why do you live in fear? Fear is something which blocks your potential. If you become fearless, you unfold your potential. So fearlessness is a spiritual value. So what do you learn from Gita? I learned to live fearlessly. When I learn to live courageously, fearlessly, my potential unfolds better. So we need to connect that way. When your potential unfolds better, you will make a brilliant career. What do I learn in Gita? I learn to stay focused. What I do, I stay very focused. When I stay very focused in what I do, I will shine better in my career. So career progress happens when you have spiritual values. This message has to reach them. We need to make them understand. So how do we approach? We generally go approach saying, have you lived to your potential? If you have lived to your potential, would you be in the same status where you are in life today? Would it not be much more? So we need to link this. This is their need. Career is their need, and it is their, rather you can say, a kind of a major occupation, that I must have a good career. And they should know, through spiritual values, that will be fulfilled. If this message we can convey correctly, clearly to youth, they would come towards it. Help them to choose career based on their swadharma. Now this is a difficult topic, but if they do this, everyone would be very happy. Spirituality helps us to recognize our swadharma. And my career should be in line with what is my swadharma. So when we talk about career planning, we must explain based on swadharma. So if we can slowly, through our textbooks, if we can make them understand, you can choose your career of your choice and shine well if you understand your swadharma. Understanding your swadharma is a spiritual science. So this way, we need to connect career and spirituality, because that is their need, and spirituality will help them do it better. And what is more beautiful in spiritual sciences, it doesn't just help you to develop your career, it sets you a goal in life. It makes the person evolve to divine. So that this link and clarity on this is very, very important. Move on. Youth psychology. Now coming. Peer pressure. To be cool. This is the term the youth use. Be cool. To stay cool is very important. And if you do something which doesn't fall in the category of being cool, you are outdated. And a youth doesn't like that at all. You are outdated, they don't like. They like to stay in thing. Staying cool. Now this is a high pressure they come under. Because certain things among the youth, their levels of discrimination or their levels of understanding, they have put certain things. If you do these things, it's not cool. If you do these things, it's cool. And they come under this tremendous pressure, and media has enhanced it further. What is being cool, what is not being cool. In the opinion of modern youth, it is not cool to be a Hindu or spiritual. Understand that. Today's youth, most of them, at least definitely in metros and even in cities, could be in the rural area at the village level, maybe in some small towns, but most of the cities and the metros, it is not cool to say I am a Hindu. We have to understand. no matter what you talk, finally it would be like a religion. Oh, it's not cool. To identify with a religion is not cool. Now this is a problem the Hindu youth has. We need to break this notion in them. Most of the places it is it. You speak, they listen to you, they understand very well, but oh, it's end religious. No. How many of our programs, when we go and explain, people are so inspired, the final word would be like when you say, why don't you sponsor this program, multinationals, no, you are from a religious institute. What is wrong with being religious? It's not cool, it's not correct, it's not communal. This is the brand which is being thrust on. So we have to handle this very intelligently. Because if we can make this, we can have a breakthrough here. Being a Hindu is being cool. I tell you, all the issues are sorted out. People will come very naturally follow. But today the notion is being Hindu is not being cool. Less informed Hindu youth think Hinduism is non-scientific, superstitious. Less informed Hindus. This is what the Hindu youth think. I come from a religion which is unscientific. I come from a religion which is more superstitious. This notion should go. If religion has to be accepted and they have to think and give value to it, we have to break these two. It is unscientific. That notion in the youth should go. It is superstitious. That should go. We must tactfully, intelligently present our culture scientifically. It must be presented scientifically. We must show the science behind and make them understand this is not superstitious. This is one of the issues which we have to deal with. And how do we do it? We see here. Continuing. Some of them are scared and hence don't speak out because of the peer pressure. They may come to a Yuva Kendra class. They may even be quite regular in Yuva Kendra class. But it takes some more time for them to really identify with Yuva Kendra. So at the earlier stages, if you ask them, where are you going? Some of them may not be vocal, saying, I'm going to a Yuva Kendra class, where we study Bhajagovindam or Bhagavad Gita. No. Most of them do not want to identify because they are scared. The peer pressure, you are outdated. I have seen this in my life. Some 20 years ago, we have seen it and we are seeing it even now. You are young and you take to this, people question, what is wrong with you? Why do you go after all this? Something wrong? Now imagine someone looks at you saying something wrong with you because you attend spiritual classes. How many people will have guts to say you don't know what that is? You have to come and learn. The problem is in your perception, not in me. People don't say it. They are silent. They are not vocal. That's why we find, though we have large numbers coming in, our numbers could be much more if the existing people are vocal in the university. If they are vocal about it in their classroom, among their friend circle, if they say, this is what it is, but they don't say. Because very clear, this is outdated, this is not being cool, and people around will not appreciate it. Therefore, I don't speak, and they don't get a chance to know only about it. So it is very, very important we speak. Some of them are scared and hence don't speak out. Less reverence for any form of identification to religion. This is the trend. Less reverence. Not vocal, not exhibiting, not demonstrating. And most of them feel no. And if you have to be identified with a group, sometimes the media and people use outfit as the term. Yuva Kendra, a Hindu outfit. Okay, now you don't like to identify with a word like that. You understand? Religion, oh, he is fundamental. If you say, I believe in God, I go to temple regularly and I'm proud of it, you're a fundamental. And if you're going to be branded fundamental, then I don't like to be identified with it. So this is the problem. Most of them have, go back to Wall Street. Less reverence for any form of identification to religion. Until the person comes to our fold, is there with us for a while, this notion will not go continuing. So what do we do? How do we do this? This is the issues which we have seen. How do we approach? The approach should be balance both study and activity. Our method must be study and activity. Like morning class, Guruji was telling, knowledge followed by action. Only action, without knowledge, we won't know what we are doing. Intention could be good, but action could be stupid. Knowledge followed, action follows knowledge, that action would be useful. So we must, youth has energy, we must have knowledge, study combined with activity. Wherever this combination, this blend happens well, there we have a good Yuva Kendra, strong unit. More numbers come in. Because in activity, the rajas in them, the energy in them gets channelized to a better activity. With study, they have clarity. So balance both study and interesting activities. Centers with focus, which focuses on both study and activity. I tell you, those centers thrive. In simple, our approach seems to be like this: self-unfoldment through study and selfless work. This is what we do. Wherever this is planned well, executed well, you will find self-unfoldment. Study and selfless work. Activity is a selfless work. So when we combine these two, the youth respond well, and there we see the centers flourishing better. How do we do this? Another strategy which we think is this concept of Yuvaveer. Why? Because to be with religious organization is not something which youngsters like, one. Second, to identify with a person wearing orange, yellow, they are not ready. That's why when we go to colleges, let's say people like Govind Chaitanya, we have gone, you name the university we would have visited in India. In the first few days, the attitude would be like, first few minutes when you go, it would be like, why the hell did you come here? You're spoiling my morning. This is the attitude. You walk in and they look at you like that. Why did you come here? What for? And then, immediate thought would be like, the principal is a madman to bring all these guys. He believes and he's forcing it on us. So closed. I tell you, it's a testing time. It's a testing time. You have to break that and go. When they look at you that way, if you can retain your confidence and balance, I tell you, the way in which you start your talk would be different. They stare at you like an unwanted thing. And you have to handle that opinion. First few minutes, and sometimes it's even more bad. The principal will come with a huge life-size garland. And he will touch your feet. The students sitting there don't like all this. They don't like all this. Like they're saying, in their opinion, you're a human. Why should they treat you like divine? Why should an elderly person touch the feet of a young man? For what? We don't like this. And what is so good in you? They don't even know you, but these are the thoughts. So they develop an aversion. So the whole introduction itself would be like further damage to already existing mood. And like sometimes it'd be like you have to wait for 5-10 minutes. Let all this get over. This is traumatic, let it be finished. When you get the mic for yourself, then when we start, they understand. And you must be really alert. In Belgaum, I was once called for a talk to a homeopathy college. The principal garlanded, welcomed, called me to speak. Like now I was introduced, when I was coming, you guys were clapping. Like that, they started clapping and didn't stop. They didn't stop. I'm on the mic standing there and they didn't stop. There, and it will like you can see the beat. It will go down, it will come up, it will go down. And behind me, the principal, poor man. He's pleading from there, shoo, stay quiet. And I'm looking at him and he's pleading. The students just didn't stop. I whistled. In the mic I whistled loudly. I said, you can only clap, I can whistle. When I whistled loudly, it was a genuine appreciation. You could see the genuineness of the clap. And then they calmed down. I said, guys, listen, few years back I was there. Don't underestimate me that way. It's just I'm more experienced than you. I have been there and I'm also here. Then they slowly understood. You have to open it out and speak to them. This could be. So you are not welcome. Why? Aversion to this color. To the color. Imagine, slowly, this has built to that level. When they see someone in this color, they are not ready to learn. So how should be the strategy? People like you should take classes. We should not come in the forefront. We should be at the background. People like you should go into the university and take classes. That's the concept of Yuvavir. Yuvavir, which we designed, is only keeping this in mind. That people like you, in your clothes, should go to the university, should go to the schools and speak. They identify with you better. Then we go. That is, after you inspiring them initially, to sustain the inspiration, they can come to us. So this is very, very important. We need to keep this in mind. The approach to the youth should be, we must mix both. Study and interesting activities, otherwise they will not come with us. Only study, they are not keen on it. Study with where the activities come out. Through activity which they learn different things, how to organize, how to keep a team going. When they learn other things, they feel fine and they have slowly developed an identity. I must be with this organization. Continue. Now comes, this is another issue which you have to understand. People living in village, youth of the village, they would like to imitate youth of the town. Village youth imitates town youth. All that they want to do is go to the nearest town and have a lifestyle like the youth living in the town. Town youth looks towards the city youth. For them would be like how the youth in the city, what is their kind of entertainment, what they think as cool. These guys want that lifestyle. The city youth looks towards metro youth, lifestyle in metro. How in metro the lifestyle is, the small cities, they want a lifestyle of that kind. And the metro youth looks towards west. They want what the west does. No question of analysis, nothing, simply imitate. Why? They think that is being cool. If we can succeed, if we fulfill Gurudev's vision, it would be like you make the West turn towards the youth of the East. That must be the presentation. If we can do it, we fulfill the vision. The youth in the West should turn towards the youth in the East. So this is how it goes. So we need to understand all our programs which we do, we need to keep this in mind. So if you can handle here, let's say the metro youth are inspired and they say religion is cool, the city youth will say that. If the city youth says that, it's going to go down to the town and it's going to go down to the village. Continuing. The formula, all this what we have discussed. My success with youth is because I applied this as the formula. The formula is, make them do what you want in the way in which they like doing it. I repeat, make them do what you want the way in which they like doing it. This is the secret of success in handling youth. What you want, they should do. But you should give them the freedom, the way in which they like doing it. Because they also want good. If you give them that freedom, they are fine with it. How? Some of the strategic methods I tell you. For example, we did Awakening Indians to India. We wanted our youngsters to know about India. You call them and say, I'm going to talk about India. They are not ready to learn. Because why? Their interest is not India. And their opinion on India isn't good. So we had a program like this. We wanted our youngsters to learn and know India. So what did we do? We came up with this program called Awakening Indians to India, and we came up with this book called Awakening Indians to India. Who made this book? Youth made this book. Our own Yuva Kendra members across the country compiled this book. They went around, we gave topics to different people. We said, on this topic you do research and find out things which Indians should know. Now, in the field of research, in the form of compiling, these youngsters got to know about India. I said, now that we have compiled, we will conduct a quiz on this. And that's how we conducted that quiz. Now, because you are a person, part of the organization, you compiled the book, you got to know about India, and you were the promoter for the quiz. So everyone, most of the chicks that time, went out, spoke about India. These guys were not ready to know about India. And today they have become people who can talk, promote, advocate, speak about it. How? So you want them to know India. You want them to talk about India proudly. How do you do it? They like quiz competition. They like research kind of work. They like traveling across India and knowing about it. Give them opportunities, that way this will happen. Make them do what you want, the way in which they like doing it. Chik Relay Yajna. This is Gurudev's vision. He gave us this program. Chik Relay Yajna. You tell them, come on, study Hanuman Chalisa. They are not studying. You tell them, let us study Sri Ram Gita. Not ready. Sthita Prajna Lakshana, let us read it. They are not ready. Okay, you are going to talk about Sthita Prajna Lakshana. This is a program in the Yuva Kendra. The members are there. Now you are going to talk about Sthita Prajna Lakshana for 5 days. Each one will speak for 15 minutes. It is at that time, for the first time the youth realizes to speak 15 minutes is not easy. My God! Oh, very natural reverence goes to all speakers after that. How is this guy manages half an hour, 45 minutes, 2 hours? 15 minutes is so difficult. And what do you speak? The sloka from the Gita. So how do you learn the Gita? Because you have to speak. What do we want? You to read Gita. So what is the formula? Make them do what you want, the way in which they like doing it. Now they are all happy. Peer pressure adds up because their family gets to know that they are going to go and talk on Bhagavad Gita. So the mother is so proud at home that my child is going to talk on Bhagavad Gita, calls her friends, relatives, everybody. So the day you are speaking, your family and friends are there. You can't let down. So you have to compete better. So you read more. Oh, I have seen. Whenever I have thrown this project to the youth, they'll ask, Swamiji, some points I need. 3:30 in the morning you meet me, I'll give you. 3:30 they will be there. It's nice to make them wake up in the morning. If they don't, there are methods. We wake you up because waking you up is our need. That you getting up early is good for you. So we want you to get up. But there are ways in which we can do. So I have found this. Making them do what you want, but the way in which they like doing it is the success formula with the youth. Soul Song Night, which is again an activity. It's a strategy. They come in to study. Only study may not keep them inspired. The study needs. There is talent. Give a healthy field for the talent to unfold. Relay Yajna was something we were doing when Gurudev was there. He initiated all these programs. Soul Song Night was something again Gurudev initiated. Those who can play tabla, those who can play harmonium, those who can sing well, those who can dance, harness the youth potential. They have potential. Give them a field. Now a Soul Song Night is going to be on what? How to handle stock market. That's not the theme, isn't it? A Soul Song Night is going to be culture oriented, spiritual oriented. It will have roots in our culture. A healthy entertainment. Educational entertainment. The activity should be that we make them turn to an educational entertainment. They like to do these things because it is the talent in them. We provide a field. They identify more with Yuva Kendra. They are part of this organization. If someone identifies more being with Yuva Kendra, that means that person would stay with us for a while. If someone hangs around Yuva Kendra for 5-6 years, believe me, you will see the transformation. You will find the person with a vision. He will have clarity. So we need to do things which will keep them be around us for a while. If you can do it intelligently with healthy entertainments, it will happen. That's how we had things like Soul Song Night. And how do we celebrate festivals? Now, festival also can be made very, very interesting. You can make a festival celebrated very creatively. So festivals are, in Hindu culture, there are so much of festivals. Let's start making it more creative. We have done in many ways. I'll show you another slide. For example, we celebrated Independence Day by walking up the mountain and hoisting the flag. Like that, we can choose many ways to celebrate a festival. Krishna Jayanti, we had different kinds of games. In most of the centers we do. So festivals also is a brilliant method to inspire youth. That is a creative field. We are proud of our festivals and we celebrate them in a creative manner. Moving on. And then we, of course, we did programs like Samartha Ramdas, Kambaramayan, and latest recent times we did Surya 108. Now you tell youth, let's do Surya Namaskar. Catch them doing Surya Namaskar, modern youth. Surya Namaskar, good for you, do. How many of them will do? On a show, you have to perform Surya Namaskar. And it can't be like shabbily done. It should be precise, it should have a class. Like how the Shaolin monks do. When the Shaolin monks present something, it has a class, their body, mind aligned, they are there. Presented that way. Now you see them doing Surya Namaskar throughout the day. Practice. 3 hours of practice. What? Surya Namaskar. Otherwise they do Surya Namaskar. But I want them to do Surya Namaskar. We want them to do Surya Namaskar. Make them do what you want. The way in which they like doing it. You understand the success formula? This is how it works. This is again another program which we did called Death. Tell them 8th chapter of Bhagavad Gita teaches you how to die. Not interested. Kathopanishad, not interested. Then we sit with the youth and saying, okay, we want to do a play which would be appealing to the youngsters of this age. And the theme should be based on Kathopanishad, write a script. Now what happens? Our Yuva Kendra members sit together and keep working on reading Kathopanishad, finding out what are the stanzas would be good, how to present this idea creatively, entire work goes on. And then you come up with a method and you present. Educational entertainment. You are educated through a play. Like Bombay youth are now working on River Saraswati, which is strategically, it's very important for us to understand Saraswati civilization and all the glory of that river and the glory of that civilization. This is the Yuva Kendra who sat together, worked, researched, did the entire study, how to do it, where, how to write lines, how to dialogue it. Lot of learning. And end, we have something nice to present to the rest of the country to show like this is the glory of Saraswati civilization, most ancient civilization in the world, which can destroy myths like Aryan invasion, etc. out. We throw clarity. And how? It is research done, study done, script written, people come out to sing, people come out to direct the play, all talent unfolded. Organize it, raise funds from the show. Most of the educational entertainments are fundraisers. If a big project is coming, I only think of one of these programs to do and I know we get the funds which we need. So this is how we blend study with activity. That will make them learn what we want going further. It is not sufficient. You can take up other programs like adventure sports, travel, rafting, biking, trekking, etc. We have done all these programs. All this will have a spiritual destination. Rafting. River Ganga. River Ganga. You tell people, let's go to River Ganga and take a dip. Forget it. Why? What for? You come rafting with us. We'll topple your raft. You can topple also. Yeah, come on. Destination, Ganga. And Ganga is very important to us. We explain the glory. And if he is going to, it's not just rafting. We don't have only rafting in Ganga. It's not a camp. Only rafting, we go and we come back. No. It's a combination. Selling point. 5 days camp in Siddhabari. What do you do 5 days camp in Siddhabari? Sadhana Panchakam. Some text. Which is the bait? Rafting in Ganga is the bait. But to get there, what do? 5 days Sadhana Panchakam. And our camps are interesting, well programmed, we inspire them. And then you take this. So this way we have to combine. And it happens. And it's good. For them to go into River Ganga and take a dip itself is good. So we club programs that way. That is interesting. That is important. So there people would start coming in. Yuva Kendra become more dynamic. Adventure sports. I have taken a group to Amarnath Cave from Chennai. The way in which we went was motorcycle. He would come, let us go have Amarnath Darshan, Shiva's Darshan. But he said, we'll do it on motorcycle. Motorcycle all the way. And which route? Via Leh. That's how you go to Amarnath. Either you go via Kashmir or you go via Leh. You go via Srinagar or via Leh. We went via Leh. And Leh is the highest road. Your spirit and your energy of adventure, your energy, all can be channelized. Destination that way. So we can adopt different methods that way. Adventure sports, travel, rafting, biking, trekking, etc. But it must be spiritually inclined. The destination should be spirituality. And it should not be only that. There should be 5-6 days of different things. Various spiritual programs become, and in the end this would be added to it. This combination really works, and we have touched many youngsters through them. Moving on. Real Vedanta. This is another method which I found extremely inspiring to the youth. What we speak, if they watch it in a movie, it becomes easy. We have seen, now wait a minute, I'll just show you a clip, a very short clip from this movie called Peaceful Warrior. I think light should go off. The conversation, I'll just tell you. This boy came because the teacher, his coach, which basically, he told him, meet me tomorrow at this time, and the boy had something else very important. And he said, I don't have time, whatever you want to say, can you make it fast? So he looks at that side and he sees there's a river, picks him up and throws him into the river. So he gets up, screams, saying, what did you do? He said, you said you were in a hurry and I want to teach you something in a short manner. He said, no, you never taught me anything, you pushed me into the river. He said, no, I emptied your mind. What do you mean you emptied my mind? You pushed me into the river. He said, no, I emptied your mind. When you jumped, what was in your mind? What thoughts were there? You were thinking of your college, you were thinking of your school, you were thinking of your friends, nothing. And you didn't have even a word to express it, you only screamed. And he says, your mind is slowly filling up again. It was empty for a while, it started filling up again. That's why he said, take the trash out. And so that guy says, are you out of your head? Are you out of your mind? The student asks the coach, are you out of your mind? And this guy says, it took a lifetime to achieve it. To go out of the mind, to make the mind silent. The boy says, the teacher says, it took a lifetime. And then he says, there's nothing happening here. Who said there is nothing happening? What is your level of focus? What is your level of attention? Are you seeing what's happening? Then he makes him stand there and see. He sees a person turning the book. You can listen to the sound of the person turning the book. You could see the beetle walking on the grass. You could see people laughing when the dog, the frisbee thing. So this is a simple, I mean it's a movie. So when you watch the movie and then you get a message like this saying what we otherwise talk in the class, live in the moment, stay in the present. What we discuss through our slokas such movies too. Now when we present a movie like this, people come, they watch the movie and it's a very highly spiritual entertainment. It's a message. And after the movie we can have, let's say, half-a-day program on workshop. What it is to stay focused or what it is to stay in the present. He said there's never nothing happening. Always something is happening. Are you aware? What is being aware? Many ways we can conduct our workshops. Yeah. Next slide. The last message. Yeah. The main point. If we are available for youth and they are with us for a few years, then the vision slowly transfers. If you are available for youth and you manage to keep them with you for a while, a span of 4 or 5 years, if the youngsters can be with you, Gurudev's vision transfers to them. It is up to you. How much are you available for youth? How much variety you can present so that they are available for you? If they are with you for 4 or 5 years, the vision slowly transfers. This is the method which we can, it's up to you to make him or her available. This I found a very good method to approach psychology of the modern youth and some of the strategies which we can take to reach them. Okay, now we go into the last slide. Yeah, move on. These are the topics. It would be nice if we can sit and discuss. Note down. Identify 3 problems youth face today, apart from the ones which we discussed above. You sit and think, what are the problems with the youth? Identify 3 problems. There could be many, but for our discussion, identify 3 problems youth face today, apart from the ones discussed above. Conscious choice of words. Let's discuss on this. What kind of words we should use when we have to interact with the youth? Conscious choice of words. Link between spirituality and career. How do we link that? Because that's important. That is their need. If we can link it, we would find them coming and staying with us. Various ways to make them do what we want in a way in which they want, in a way in which they like. So, the formula, like how in your center, with your situation there, what are the things you can do to make them? For example, in your town, if there is a temple on the top of a hill, it could be like rock climbing your way to the temple. And don't do it without technical support. Now this we have to understand. Some of these programs which I mentioned, we take caution and we have technical support. They are safe to do. Be sure. It should not be like foolishly doing something. I'm sure the audience here understands the importance of safety. I'm not going into that discussion. That can never be overlooked. Have technical support and do these programs. You will find a lot of people coming in. How to remove aversion towards religion. This is again a point which we need to discuss. How to remove aversion towards religion in the modern youth. And what it is being available for the youth. How is it that as a teacher, as a sevak, you are available? It's not that you're a sevak only for the class. When they come to the class, you take class. That's not being a sevak. Sevak is one whom the youth can anchor. The sevak is an anchor for the youth. So anything the person wants clarity at any point of time in life, he should know to fall back to you. It's not that I just take a class and I come back. You are an anchor for him. So see that as sevak, how much are you available for the youth? And the beginning slide I said, widely read, well read. A sevak must also be that. A youth is widely read, not well read. A sevak must be widely read and well read. What is essential, he should know, and he must have the knowledge of the world. What is happening around in the world? Widely read, widely informed, well informed, both are important. Okay. With this we stop now. I do not know if I shot time. How much time I took? 1 hour? Okay. So we have a discussion for half an hour. Satvik, can we make it 45 minutes? Huh? Go ahead. Yeah.
You can come back after the discussion straight away.
Okay.
20 they can come back.